Hi, welcome to Future Technos. So then, guys, it does sound like in 2025 we could be getting an update to the Mac Mini, this time with the new M5 and M5 Pro chips. And today I want to give you all the details about this little Mac Mini that was refreshed in 2024 and what kind of big changes we could be seeing with the next update. Back in 2024, Apple finally gave the Mac Mini a new design. That was the first redesign in more than a decade. The body became a little bit thicker, but at the same time much more compact and modern. It looked like a smaller version of the Mac Studio, and many people loved that change. The starting price was also a big deal. The Mac Mini with the M4 chip began at just $599. For that money, you got 16 GB of unified memory, 256 GB of storage, and a very powerful chip inside. For someone buying their first Apple computer, this was an amazing entry point. Over time, with discounts and deals, you could even find it for $450, which was crazy value. But of course, Apple also offered a more powerful version. That was the Mac Mini with the M4 Pro chip. It came with more RAM, more storage, and much higher performance. The base price was $1,399, but even that could sometimes drop closer to $1,150 during big sales. For that amount of power, the deal was still considered very strong. Now, the question everyone has is whether Apple will update the Mac Mini again in 2025. Some people thought maybe it would be skipped, since Apple has done that before. They skipped the M3 version and went straight to the M4. But based on recent leaks, we know that the Mac Mini is definitely on Apple's roadmap for 2025 and 2026. The documents clearly list a Mac Mini with an M5 Pro chip, so that almost confirms it. The list didn't directly show a Mac Mini with the standard M5 chip, but it would make no sense for Apple to only release the Pro model. It's much more likely that both versions will arrive. Apple might even keep selling the M4 model at a lower price, just like they did with the MacBook Air when the M3 version launched while the M2 version stayed on sale. If this happens, then we can expect the new Mac Mini to be announced around the same time as the M5 chip itself. The M5 is already in development, and it will be coming first to the iPad Pro and the MacBook Pro. Those devices usually launch in October or November, so it would make sense for the new Mac Mini to appear at the same event. But if Apple wants to give more spotlight to the iPad Pro and MacBook Pro, they might delay the Mac Mini slightly. In that case, the Mac Mini could have a soft launch in early 2026, most likely in February or March. Personally, I think Apple will still push it out in late 2025, but the worst case is just a few months later. Price is also important here. Apple has set a clear benchmark. The entry-level Mac Mini at $599 is a sweet spot, and I don't think they will change it. The M5 model will probably start at the same price, with 16 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage. The Pro version will also likely remain at $1,299, again with the same memory and storage options, but upgraded with the new chip. Now, performance is where things get exciting. Let's start with the standard M5 chip. For the last 3 generations, Apple has not changed the GPU core count. The M2, M3, and M4 all had a maximum of 10 GPU cores. But this time, we expect Apple to finally increase it. The M5 could come with 12 GPU cores paired with a 10-core CPU. That CPU will likely include 6 efficiency cores and 4 performance cores. What does this mean in real life? Well, the overall performance jump could be around 25% compared to the M4. That's a big boost when you combine improvements across the CPU, GPU, and the neural engine. It means faster app loading, smoother multitasking, and much better graphics performance. Another major upgrade is Thunderbolt. The M5 is expected to bring Thunderbolt 5 support, even on the base models. The M4 only had Thunderbolt 4 for the standard version, while Thunderbolt 5 was reserved for the higher-end Pro and Max chips. With the M5, Apple could make Thunderbolt 5 a standard feature, and that means transfer speeds up to 120 gigabits per second. That's huge for creators who use fast external drives or multiple monitors. Now let's talk about the M5 Pro. This is where things get really interesting. The M5 Pro is expected to feature up to 16 CPU cores. That would be 4 efficiency cores and 12 performance cores. Compared to the current M4 Pro, that's an extra 2 performance cores, giving it much more raw power. The GPU will also get an upgrade. Right now, the M4 Pro goes up to 20 GPU cores. The M5 Pro could take this number up to 22 cores. That means much better performance in tasks like video editing, 3D rendering, and gaming. Once again, the overall performance increase could be around 25% compared to the M4 Pro. For RAM and storage, Apple probably won't change the options. The base will remain 16 GB of unified memory, with upgrades to 32 GB or higher for the Pro model. Storage will likely start at 256 GB for the base version, going up to 512 GB or 1 TB for higher tiers. These might not sound like big changes on paper, but combined with the M5 architecture, they will deliver a huge performance leap. And the fact that Thunderbolt 5 will now be standard is another strong reason why the Mac Mini will remain one of the best deals in Apple's lineup. So yes, the Mac Mini 2025 with M5 and M5 Pro is shaping up to be a very solid update. The design will probably remain the same as the 2024 model. Apple just redesigned it, so they're not going to change it again so soon. But the inside will be faster, more efficient, and ready for the future.